Welcome to part 3 of Let's Play the Seven Serpents by Steve Jackson. At the end of the last part, I was about to read paragraph 114. Here we go. Which way will you now head? To the northwest, turn to 149, or northwards, turn to 283. You may rest and eat provisions if you wish, and if you do so, you will gain 2 stamina points if this is your first meal today, or 1 stamina point if you have already eaten. Okay, we are going to eat provisions. Okay, so that puts us down to 7 provisions and puts our stamina back up to 22. There we go. And we're going to head northwards and turn to 283. Your long walk across the backlands is coming to an end. In the distance, you can see the wide fringe ahead of you that marks the boundary of the forest of the Snatter. You climb up onto a rock to get a better view of what lies ahead. The green spread of the forest continues to the shores of Lake Ilklala, which you can just make out on the horizon. The rock on which you are standing is a suitable place to eat provisions. If you wish to do so, turn to 78. If you do not wish to eat provisions, turn to 300. Okay, we do not wish to eat provisions, and so we're turning to 300. Here we are. As you stand to leave, your foot dislodges a chunk of rock which scuttles off down the slope. Halfway down, it stops unnaturally and reverses direction. It rolls towards you, and you watch in amazement as it bumps painfully into your ankle. Deduct 1 stamina point. Okay, let's deduct 1 stamina point. Gets us down to 21. You reach down to rub it, and as you do so, a rumbling shakes the ground and knocks you off balance. The peak of the rock explodes into the air, erupting like a volcano and spraying stones everywhere. Will you run to try to avoid the falling rocks, turn to 30, or cast a spell? Doz 453, Mag 378, Wok 477, Fog 447, Huff 428. Okay, we're going to cast a Wok spell and turn to 477. Okay, I think that picture might apply to us, so there it is. Okay, 477, here we go. Deduct 1 stamina point. Puts us down to 20. Do you have a gold piece with you? If not, you cannot use this spell, and while you are trying to cast it, you are hit by falling rocks for 2 stamina points of damage and must turn to 30. If you have a gold piece, you can cast your spell on it to form a magical shield which will protect you from the rock shower. Turn to 30. But using your shield, you will not lose any stamina points at that reference. Okay, yeah, so we have to use a gold piece. That puts us down to 43 gold pieces. There we go. Yeah, so let's turn to 30, but we're not losing any stamina points, so let's turn to 30. Okay, you cover your head and run downhill while the stones shower the ground all around you. Roll 1 die. This is the number of stamina points you lose as they fall on you. You may, if you wish, use your luck here. If you wish to test your luck, a lucky roll will indicate that only the smaller stones fell on you, and you may halve the stamina damage, round odd numbers up. The falling stones, however, roll under your feet, making it difficult to keep your balance. You slip and land on the ground with a thump. Turn to 98. Okay, we are ignoring the damage on paragraph 30, so we don't need to do any of that because we have a shield. So let's turn to 98. In fact, The thump that you were expecting does not quite happen. Instead, your heart flutters as the short fall you anticipated lasts longer than it should. The ground below you has opened up, and you have fallen into a pit resembling, perhaps appropriately, a freshly dug grave. But your landing is soft, and you lift yourself back on your feet. The pit is around 9 feet deep, and you may just about be able to jump up and grab the edge to pull yourself up. As you are considering what to do, a creaking sound below puts you on your guard. The earth shakes in the centre of the pit, and a rocky protrusion breaks through the surface. You stare at the smooth-faced rock and step backwards as a hissing sound comes from it. Its surface changes from grey to red, and steam rises from it. This rock is boiling hot. In a panic, you jump up to grab the rim of the pit and haul yourself out. Your fingers catch the edge, but as you pull yourself up, something bites your hand. This is not a serious wound, but it causes 1 stamina point of damage and makes you lose your grip. Okay, let's lose a stamina point. Puts us down to 19. What will your next move be? Will you try again to lift yourself out of the pit, turn to 211, wait to see what happens in the pit, turn to 276, or cast a spell? Bag 418, Mud 371, Foff 486, Dock 348, Fix 406. Okay, what are we going to do? We're going to cast a Mud spell, and we're going to turn to 371. Deduct 1 stamina point. Let's do that now. Whoops. Okay, being a bit weird. There we go. Okay, 1 stamina point. That puts us down to 18. Do you have any sand with you? If not, your spell will not work. Turn to 236. If you have some sand, you may throw it onto the hot rock and cast your spell. Your magic creates a pool of quicksand around the rock, and it begins to sink into the earth once more, bubbling and boiling. As it disappears, you have a chance to lift yourself out of the pit. Turn to 43. Okay, do we have some sand? Yes, we have vial of dust, which is sand. Okay, so we do have some sand. Okay, I'm assuming that we're going to use the sand, so let's just say used. There we go. And we're turning to 43 because the spell was successful. Here we are. Back on the surface, the danger is by no means subsiding. Cracks are appearing in the ground, radiating out from the pit. One breaks open between your legs, and you jump aside just in time to avoid being swallowed. A large boulder on the top of the hill is teetering on the point of rolling down towards you, and as if that weren't enough, a small green snake is wrapping itself around your ankle and preparing to bite you. What will you do first? Try to find an area safe from the cracking ground, turn to 6. Try to push the boulder off in a different direction, turn to 115, or get rid of the snake, turn to 263. Okay, we're going to get rid of the snake and turn to 263. You reach down to grab the creature. It darts at you to bite your hand, but you manage to swat it to the ground. Only then do you see the snake as it really is. As it lies on the ground, its skin splits. From within, a dark brown serpent emerges. As if in some sort of reaction to its exposure to the air, the earth serpent grows rapidly before your eyes. It unfurls great wings and coils up before you, hissing menacingly. How will you fight it? With a spell? Dumb 367, Huff 351, DOS 491, NAP 443, Zen 471. With your weapon, turn to 54, or with your bare hands, turn to 66. Okay, this is a serpent, so we're going to deduct 14 from this and turn to 249 to get some clues or information. So 249. The earth serpent spies the ring. Enemy of Mampang, it hisses at you. You have found the serpent ring. Then, as our gods decree, I must tell you this. Offer no gold to Valignia if you value your life, but this knowledge will do you no good. Here is another offering. The serpent darts out at you and narrowly misses striking your arm. Now return to 263 to deal with the serpent. Okay, 263 again. Okay. First of all, we have to make a note that offer no gold to Valignia. So, offer no gold to Valignia. There we go. Anyway, and what are we going to do now? We're going to cast a spell, which is going to be Huff, and so we're turning to 351. Deduct 1 stamina point. Okay, that puts us down to 17. Do you have a gale horn with you? If not, your spell will not work, and while you try in vain to cast it, the serpent strikes, causing 3 stamina points of damage. Draw your weapon and turn to 54. If you have a gale horn, you may cast your spell and blow the horn. A tremendous gust of air blasts from the horn, which catches the serpent's wings and lifts it into the air. Turn to 127. Okay, do we have a gale horn? Yes, we do. There it is. Okay, so that's that. So we're now turning to 127. The serpent roars and hisses as you lift it into the air, but once off the ground its power is lost. The living earth settles and the serpent itself shrinks once more to the size of the small snake. Grabbing it by the neck, it is an easy matter for you to destroy the beast. Turn to 220. As the serpent's power dies, so does the living earth. Everything is now still. You may rest for a short while to catch your breath, then set off again towards the forest. Turn to 165. Okay, so we've defeated the earth serpent. Let me just do a quick search. Yeah, there it is. Okay, so we've defeated the earth serpent. There we go. Okay, now we're turning to 165. Ahead of you, perhaps an hour's walk away, are the fringes of the forest of the Snatter, the next stage of your journey. After a brief rest, you collect yourself and set off towards it. Turn to 133. As you reach the forest, the air is becoming cooler and night is approaching. You must decide whether to camp on the outskirts of the forest for the night or to carry on without resting. If you wish to stop to eat and rest, turn to 55. If you would rather carry on through the night, turn to 159. Okay, we're going to stop here and rest and eat, so turn to 55. You find a sheltered spot and settle down. If you wish to eat provisions, you may do so, and you can add 2 stamina points if this is your first meal of the day, 1 stamina point if you have already eaten. Okay, we're not going to eat here. As you stretch out to sleep, you are aware of strange noises coming from the forest ahead. Strange animal calls haunt the air. What dangers lie in store for you? No doubt you will find out tomorrow. You drift off to sleep. Turn to 235. You spend an undisturbed night on the fringe of the forest. You may add 3 stamina points for your night's rest, but if you did not eat at all yesterday, you must deduct 3 stamina points. Okay. Okay, did I eat yesterday? I did eat yesterday, so yeah, so I don't need to deduct 3 stamina points. So that puts us up to 20 then. Three paths now lead into the depths of the forest. Which will you choose? The left-hand path, turn to 13. The right-hand path, turn to 329. Or the middle path, turn to 214. Okay, we're going to follow the left-hand path and turn to 13. As the sun climbs into the sky, the walk through the woods is a pleasant trip. Strange trees and bushes line the path, and every so often you catch glimpses of birds singing in the branches. There may be some useful gatherings along the way. You pass and may take with you any of the following, but for each thing that you take, you will have to leave behind one of your current possessions. 5 small pebbles, a handful of green leathery leaves with 6 lobes, some sand, enough nuts and berries for 2 meals, stone dust, feathers from a yellow bird. When you have decided and made your adjustments, turn to 117. Okay, we don't have to leave behind items as we have that large backpack, don't we? So we're going to take the 5 pebbles, the stone dust, the 2 food, and the sand. So let's write that down. Okay, so we have 2 more provisions. That puts us up to 9. We have stone dust. Where was that again? Okay, I know I had some dust around. Oh, it's annoying. Okay, dust. Yeah, there it is. So I'll put times 2 on that because we already have some. So times 2. Then we have 5 pebbles. So 5 pebbles. We've taken the food and we have some sand. So we have some more sand. That's good. Okay. Okay, so we're not going to take the feathers from a yellow bird. So we're turning to 117. Further along the path, you stop as a red-coloured snake slides across the path. It sees you and stops. The 2 of you stare at each other for a few seconds and the snake resumes its journey. Do you wish to leave the path and follow the snake, turn to 226, or will you press on with your own journey, turn to 306? Okay, we're going to leave the path and follow the snake and turn to 226. You step into the undergrowth and climb forward into the bushes. A flash of red ahead reassures you that you are heading in the right direction, but the snake seems to be moving a little more slowly than it could, almost as if it wants you to follow it. It stops at the foot of a tree and coils round the trunk. You watch as it slithers up the trunk into the branches. Its head drops down from the foliage to look for you. Do you walk up to the tree, ready for danger, turn to 123, or are you convinced that there is nothing particularly interesting about the snake, so you may as well head back to the path, turn to 306? Okay, we're going to walk up to the tree ready for danger and turn to 123. If I can, there we go. You approach the tree and stare up into the branches, searching for the snake. You catch a glimpse of red up there, but something is not quite right. The thick red band you have seen could not possibly belong to the small snake you are following. Then it happens. Without warning, the upper part of the tree bursts into flame. A flash fire billows out from the tree. Before you can take evasive action, flames lick at you. You cannot stop yourself crying out as the fire singes your hair and eyebrows. Roll one die. A roll of 1 to 4 indicates the singeing damage. Deduct this number of stamina points. A roll of 5 or 6 affects your eyes. Deduct 3 stamina points and 1 skill point. Let's do that now. Yeah, let's do that now. So let's roll 1 die. And we roll a 1. That means we lose 1 point of damage. That was quite lucky. So that puts us down to 19. And this is a serpent. A serpent paragraph. So let's deduct 14 and turn to 109 and read that. You have rightly deduced that this creature is one of the serpents. Calling to it in the branches, you hold up the ring. The serpent coils and hisses at you. So, it says, you have found the serpent ring. I am bound by that ring to reveal to you a secret which will be useful to you. But after that I will kill you. Very well, Analander. I can tell you this. Eat not from the larder of Throg if your journey should cause you to meet her. But you will never reach Throg's larder. I will see to that. Now return to 123 to make your choice. Okay, so do not eat from the larder of Throg. Let's write that down. So do not eat from Throg's larder. New line. There we go. Okay, what are we going to do? But just as suddenly as it began, the fire goes out, leaving a badly charred tree. The burnt foliage allows you to see up into the branches where the snake is looking down at you. It has grown tenfold in size, and 2 wings are folded on its back. Its sly eyes are watching you as if it were deciding its next trap. Will you draw your weapon and climb the tree to face it, 10 to 42, or cast a spell? Huff 474, Niff 434, Hot 411, Fall 336, Zap 460, or do you have something else in mind? Turn to 197. Okay, there's the picture. Okay, we have something else in mind, and so we're turning to 197. Do you have any of the following with you? Sand, turn to 148. A tinderbox, turn to 266. Borin skin boot, turn to 319. If you have none of these, you must either return to 123 to choose again, or leave the area without delay, turn to 306. Okay, we have some sand, which we just got, so we're turning to 148. Here we are. Carefully hiding your sand from the creature, you climb the tree. As it sees you climb, it drops from the branches onto the ground below. Quickly, you scamper down before the creature can create its fire again. On the ground, you face each other, waiting for a move. In an instant, the serpent bursts into flames and stretches its wings. Quickly, you throw your sand at it. The creature squeals and screams as the sand covers it. The flames go out. The wings disappear. Before you is the small yellow snake you were following originally. You draw out your weapon and finish it off. Snake, skill 5, stamina 6. If you kill the snake, 10 to 306. Okay, snake 5, 6. Let's do this. Okay, snake 5 and 6. Okay, my skill, it has an extra 3, doesn't it? So, okay. Okay, 5 plus 9 is 14. I get 18, so 14 to 18. So down to 4. No, there's nothing else there. Okay, I was just wondering if is there some other reason that I, have some sort of other skill bonus here. Okay, next. 5 plus 11 is 16. I get 23, so 16 to 23. Because I get that plus 3 attack strength bonus, don't I? Because of the armor, what is it, the armor ring or something on the broadsword. Yeah, broadsword and, yeah, armband of sword mastery, that's the one. Okay, so, yeah, puts it down to 2. Okay, next one. Okay, 5 plus 5 is 10. I get 18, so 10 to 18. That kills the snake. It's down to 0 now. There we go, that's the end of that. Let's remove any buzzing, should there be any. Okay. If you kill the snake, turn to 306, which we did, so 306. Okay. We've defeated the fire serpents. Let's make a note of that first of all. So we've defeated the fire serpent. There we go. That's that. Okay, so here we are. Getting back to the trail, you follow it until you reach a fork. Will you take the left fork, turn to 244, or the right fork, turn to 214? Okay, we're going to take the right fork and turn to 214. Let's turn to there now. The trail leads onwards to a point where a tall tree has fallen across the way just at the point where another path joins your own. You stop at the tree to rest. You may take provisions here and you can add 2 stamina points if this is your first meal of the day. While you are sitting on the trunk, the forest noises keep you alert. Okay, we are going to eat here, so deduct 1 from our provisions, which is there, so that's 8. That puts us back up to 21 stamina. Okay, anyway, while you are sitting on the trunk, the forest noises keep you alert. Small animals rustle in the undergrowth, birds call, but one particular sound puts you on your guard. A soft plop, which seems to come from the tree trunk, cannot be matched to anything happening around you. Do you wish to investigate the sound? Turn to 193, or will you instead continue onwards? Turn to 120. Okay, we're going to investigate the sound and turn to 193. Okay. You leave your pack and move. You leave your pack and move along the tree, looking carefully for signs of whatever caused the noise. You see nothing, but a low growling sound comes from the area where you were resting. Still you see nothing. Your pack topples from the tree trunk onto the ground. Something is not quite right here. You are certain your pack was resting in a level position. It almost seems as though something has pushed it off. The low growling turns into a vicious roar. Something launches itself forward and fastens sharp teeth around your arm. You are being attacked by an invisible beast. You quickly pull out your weapon and bring it down heavily on the creature's head. It yelps and releases its grip, freeing your arm. You must lose 2 stamina points for this painful injury. Let's do that now. Puts me down to 19 again. And yeah, I have enough for one more before I make a new line. Will you now run away from this place, turn to 271, or do you wish to know more about your attacker, turn to 90? Okay, we're going to run away from this place and turn to 271. Yeah, someone left a comment asking if I can sort of say what happens with the other choices. I do try to do that if I know what happens, but often I can't remember what happens in these, and I do recommend getting these books yourself and exploring, because there's lots of things that can happen, and there's a massive network of routes that you can take in these books, and I can't really remember. Sometimes at the end of the book, if it's one really interesting one that I can remember, I will go back and try to find some of the paragraphs sometimes and see what happens, but that rarely happens. I can't read all the paragraphs and do all the routes because there are just too many of them, so I do recommend getting these books yourself or a PDF version. I found this one on archive.com or archive.org, whatever it's called. If you just do a search for them on DuckDuckGo or something, then you can find PDFs of these books and you can explore them yourself. I do recommend that. Anyway, last paragraph. Leaving the fallen tree behind, you continue through the woods until you reach a fork in the path. Will you follow the path to the left, 10 to 119, or to the right, 10 to 329? Okay, we are going to follow the path to the left and turn to 119. Here we are. Okay, and I will read that in the next part. So let's put the next paragraph is 119, which is coincidentally close to the previous next paragraph. That was not intentional. And I shall leave it there. So thanks for watching. In the next part, we'll be reading paragraph 119. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.